Welcome to the Defined by Adversity podcast. I am your host, Blessing Mhlanga. On this podcast, I'll be taking those things that have tried or are attempting to stop you from accomplishing what you've always dreamed of accomplishing and breaking it down and explaining how you are already ahead of everyone else and hopefully help you to become a better version of yourself.
And I am Ashley Fouch of This Our Daily Life. And my friend Blessing is really going to kind of lead us through this podcast today, just talking about his own personal struggle with stuttering, especially. And so, Blessing, do you want to kind of tell us like the story of how you got your stutter?
Yes, so first of all, thank you, Ashley, for your introduction. Yes, so I was not born a stutterer. How, as I was growing up, I was always an adventurous boy, and I was always like running up and down places, causing trouble to my parents, picking up poisonous flowers and putting them into my mouth and things like that sort of. So my parents had had some troubles with me when I was growing up, and one day I got like I got a really high temperature. Yes, and so they took me to the hospital, and there at the hospital they ran for all kinds of tests in, known to men at that time, including hepatitis and HIV/AIDS, and they found out that I was negative in both of those tests. So then they had they could not figure out what was wrong with me, and so then their last resort was to was to do a lumbar punch or a spinal tap. If you don't know what that is, it's where they drill a hole in the back of your spine and extract out the spinal fluid
Mm-hmm.
from your back. And since I was very young, I was like 5 years old at that time. So then I think that they did the lumbar punch wrong. And so then I was left paralyzed. Like I could not walk, I could not talk, I could not do any basic necessities that a normal 5-year-old would do. And so then since at that hospital, they, they were a lot of people dying at that hospital. A lot of children were dying at the hospital. So my parents transferred me to another hospital in the nicer part of Zimbabwe. And so there it was great and everything. And the only memory that I have from that incident was my mom picking me up to go carry me to use the restroom and then picking me back up to go to the hospital bed. That was the only memory
Wow.
that I have from that incident. And so at that clinic, my parents, at that hospital, my parents would switch to see who would sleep at the hospital with me because they had two other children already at that time. And so my dad was in the middle of planning a huge conference at that time for the church denomination. And so then they, and so then my dad, when he was staying with me at the hospital, he would eat, but only a few, a few food because my sickness had greatly affected him so much that he lost all appetite. And so then another pastor would ask him, "You need to eat." And so he would say, "You say that no, my son is going through this thing, and I need to walk with him through his struggles." And so then, and so then he one night he cried before the Lord by saying that you gave me your son and now you're gonna take him away.
Yeah.
Why, Lord? And so he would like cry like every night that he was there at the hospital. And so then like since I was not getting any better, my parents decided to discharge me early from the hospital. And so the doctors were like, why? He's not gonna recover anytime soon. And if you do take him out, there is a higher chance that he might not be able to walk again
Yeah.
or talk again. He just have to be like a sitting cabbage on a wheelchair. And so then from there, my parents said, we know, like maybe if we do take him home, then like he will start to get better and recuperate. So then they took me home, and it got time for my dad to attend the conference that he was planning. He did not want to go, but my mom told him that this is the work of the devil. You just go to the conference and keep praising God. And so then he said, okay. And so he went to the conference. And at the conference, they my dad told the entire church congregation what his son was going through.
Yeah.
And so then the entire church congregation said, okay, we are going to pray and fast until Kawe gets better. And so that very first night of them praying and fasting, God was already working miraculous ways for me. That the following morning, my dad called my mom and asked her, how is Kawe doing? She said that Kawe started to talk. He said, Mama, for the very first time.
Wow.
And so then the following day, I started to like crawl. The following day, I started to like walk
Wow.
and things like that. Yeah. Yes. And so then like it took me 6 weeks of intense physical therapy for me to be able to walk fully again. And so from that time pause of me when I got sick to the time when I started to like talk, my brain was like at like a pause. And so like that's what my parents think where I got my start from. And so then like yeah, so like my parents think that it was from me not being able to like talk for like a long time, or for
Yeah.
me being born, talk, pause for a long time, and then start talking again. Like that's what they think is the reason why I got my stutter. And the doctors told my parents that I'll never be able to walk or
Wow.
talk.
It's a
Oh,
miracle.
it is such a miracle. You
Yeah.
are so right. And that's the reason why like that Adversity right there is the reason why it defines me. It defines who I am. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
totally.
Yes. And so, like, yeah.
Wow. So what do you feel, I mean, obviously this podcast is, about overcoming adversity. So can you tell me what is probably the number one thing you have learned having this? Because it's interesting, I've got a lot of chronic pain. And one of the things that I've really learned about with chronic pain is that you have to look at it as a game where you have an extra obstacle that maybe other people don't have. So it's like in a way you're being tested to be stronger, Um,
Yes.
as you level up in like the Olympics, the tests get harder, right?
Yes.
And so and God sometimes heals us and sometimes he doesn't, but I feel like he always teaches us things when we're in pain or when we have a struggle if we're willing to learn. And
Yes.
one of the things that I've learned about being in pain a lot of the time is um, that I I can't do things always on my own, and I'm a very independent person. So asking for help is really hard for me because it makes me be humble. And
Mm.
the other thing too is that it really focuses my mind on heaven because like this world, if I was perfectly, if I didn't have any pain, I feel like I wouldn't want heaven so much. You know what I mean? So I think it
Yes.
focuses my mind on heaven a lot more. I'm always
You're
thinking
right.
about it, And as a
Yes.
result, I'm not worried as much about the world's stuff. I'm just not. So
Yes.
what's like the main thing or the main couple of things you've learned from having the stutter?
Okay. So, like, first of all, like, I have prayed and people have prayed over me, and I've gone to like speech therapy to like try and make it like go away. But like it seems like God does not want to take away my stutter because he knows that I can inspire other people and I can like motivate other people. It's just so especially the 1% of the population that stutter that yes you can do whatever you want to and you can do whatever you put your heart mind and soul to it. So what I've learned is that like God sometimes does not want to take away your pain
Mm-hmm.
or your struggle because he wants to use that to help other people as well succeed and and capture their highest potential. And it is in those times in our weaknesses that we become stronger. Yes.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question? No.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like we both want to encourage people, that if you're going through something, don't look at it as like necessarily a bad thing. It's a test, and like time is so short. Like we really don't live very long. Sometimes it feels like a long time, especially when you're going through stuff. But
Yes.
heaven is like already right here. You know what I mean? It's going to be a blip, and whatever problems that we've had in our bodies or our minds or our spirits, like everything is going to be made perfect when we're with God, when we're with Jesus, and like the Olympics is only hard for that little bit, and then you get your gold medal and it's over. You know what I mean? So that's how life is, you know. And so I'm just really encouraged by your story and your you have such a brilliance. You have a light about you, you know, because you really do let God use you through your struggle. And I think sometimes people who struggle, they end up having more happiness than people who never struggle, because it's like they're actually going through things, they're actually living life. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
like it's
Yes.
like
Yes. Correct.
we're made to be strong. I really feel like God's been teaching me this. We're
Yes.
made to be strong, and so when we don't train to be strong, we
Yes.
feel bad. You know, we feel
Yes.
weak, like limp muscles, and we can't do anything. You know, so it's
Yes.
like God wants us to be strong. So I think you know, when I see you as very strong, and I see you as very bright, and I know that in heaven you're gonna be like talking all the time. You know what I mean? You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
It's
Very
gonna be
good.
great, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, I really see that in you. I don't know how much longer you want your podcast to go, but is there anything that you wanted to like close up with like just a final word at all?
Yes. So thank you for having me on your show. On
And
your
thank you for in because Blessing, you set this up, so thank you too for, you know, bringing this forward and like starting the ball on your podcast. I'm so excited for you. It's gonna be awesome.
thank you. I too like, you know, also like I've told other people, they're like, I really, really want to become a motivational speaker. They say, why? You have a stutter. And so I shouldn't have told those people that because what's his name again? Uh, Someone once said that like if you want to kill a big dream, you tell it to a small-minded person.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's true.
so like what I would like to closing is that if you have a big dream, don't tell it to just anybody.
Yeah, yeah,
Be selective of who you tell your dreams to, because other people, 99% of the people will try to knock down your dreams and find every fault inside of your dream. So to think big, to dream big, and meet everyone else at the top of the mountain.
yes.
Right?
I love it.
So,
I love it. Okay, so Blessing, it was wonderful having you and wonderful being on your show. And
yeah.
so I will hopefully get to see you soon. And I will be praying for your all of your speaking stuff. And I'm excited to see what you know what you have in the future.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.